Hey, it's the Blue Fairy, and
Cosvak.
we just saw Ex Machina, which is really hard to say.
I thought you pronounced it Machinima for like half the time. And then like
Machinima. It has no M in it.
Um,
Okay, it's not a chimera. It's Ex Machina.
one,
It's like
language is
quinoa.
hard, and like two, I don't look at the words in the poster when I go to the movies. Sometimes I just walk into the movie.
He just walked into a movie. That's
I'm
why
like,
he's seen Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 3 times.
3 times. It was
Every time he thought it was a different movie, but
I
it
was
wasn't.
duped
He
every
loves
time.
that movie now. He quotes it constantly. He loves that movie.
This would be the part of the joke where I come up with a line from the movie, but I haven't fucking seen that movie.
He has a lot. He watches it all the time. It's ridiculous. It's like that and Miss Congeniality. Wow, we got off track really quickly. Anyway.
Yeah.
This movie, I did not hear about it at all until today. And it was released today, which is awesome. It's one of those nice little surprises for me. Because I'm a film person, I should know these things, but I don't. And it's got some really great performances. Domhnall Gleeson, who he's been in a couple of movies so far. I saw him in Frank and the Harry Potter series. He's actually Irish, but in this movie he does an American accent. And then we also have Oscar Isaac, who was really big last year in A Most Violent Year with Jessica Chastain, playing kind of an underwhelming villain, I want to say.
So that's the guy with the beard, right?
Yeah, the villain.
I don't think there is a villain in this movie.
It's really difficult to say. It's the premise of the movie is that a worker in this company that's kind of like a Google gets sent to a remote island with a giant house, completely controlled by technology, security systems, padlocks, everything. And he meets this megalomaniac boss of his, played by Oscar Isaac, who basically, I would say, if you're describing this movie, is the villain of the movie. And
I think villain is still the wrong. I think like antagonist, but
antagonist.
antagonist.
Yeah, definitely antagonist.
But
antagonist works.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the entire, and then really quickly in the movie. What I really like about the beginning of the movie is that it tells a lot of story in a really small amount of time. So it jumps right into the story, and it's almost like world building at a quick pace, which I really like in movies. You know, the ones that don't over-explain and take forever. It just kind of gets into it. It's a very simple yet technologically driven story, kind of like a thought experiment.
I was confused for the first 10 fucking minutes of this movie,
Why?
going like,
Why?
where the fuck are we going? Who's this guy? And like, who the fuck's that guy?
Yeah, it doesn't really, as I said, it doesn't really explain a ton in the first 10 minutes. But that's what I like about it. I was like, oh, where's this going? This is really interesting.
It has all the exposition at like the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a little self-aware. So it's funny, too. It's funny, the movie's really funny. But that's mostly because of Oscar Isaac's performance, I would say. He makes all these... it's a very, like, real thing. There's no, like, creepy, like, villain monologue. He's
not, like, petting a cat, and he's like, yes,
no,
you will never escape with my lasers.
None of that. It's just, I just generally really like the fact that it's just, like, it's, like, self-aware, but not in a gross way. I hate movies that are, like, so self-aware that it's gross to an extent, you know, where it just deters me from liking it. With most Ex Machina, you know, it was generally funny. It answers all of its questions in really funny ways. So.
Well, there's funny bits in it.
All from pretty much Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, it's just because he's kind of like a crazy, like, super genius dude who created AI. And that's why I have, like, a problem saying that he's, like, an antagonist and, like, a villain. Because I think he's just, like, a dude, a creator.
Yeah, that's another thing I really like it.
I don't think he's a bad dude.
No, like, at the crux of it, he's just a guy who's creating something otherworldly. He creates an AI being named Ava, who's, like, it's like more her story. Though we center on Domhnall Gleeson pretty much the whole movie. And I would say that, when you get throughout the movie, though, you're not sure his motivations.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say, yeah, he's an antagonist because you don't even know how he's a villain. Like, what's he doing? It's really mysterious, I didn't watch all of the trailer, but from what I saw, it was like, oh, this guy is kind of creepy, and he has all these motives, and it's going to be like this mystery. It's like, there's kind of a twist mystery to it, definitely in the ending, which we're not going to give away, but I would say, he's just...
If the twist is...
He's just a guy. He's a guy who... Yeah, there's repercussions. Any movie with AI has repercussions, especially when you have an AI you're compassionate for, who's more human.
So yeah, the Donald guy basically like falls in love with Ava, and then he basically fucks everything over. I feel like he's more of a villain for being a dumbass.
He's not a villain. He helps her.
He helps her, but he loses track of what he's doing.
He cares about her.
He falls in love with her. He falls in love with her.
I know. You think that makes him a villain for falling in love with her? Isn't that...
I don't think he's a villain. I think he's more of a dumbass. But...
How is he?
Because he knows what he's walking into. He knows it's an AI. He knows the dangers of, like, letting it out and stuff like that. I mean, like, I get the whole, the ethics of, like, well, is this a real being now because it has conscious thought?
I would say there's a lot of great moments. I love all of the cinematography. I love the shots. This movie's beautiful.
It's well shot.
I think the first thing I thought where I saw these shots, there's all this nature. There's waterfalls. There's all this ice sculpture, like the glaciers and stuff. There's these houses. There's rivers. There's just great architecture. The whole time I was thinking, wow, this is just like showing where all the money went. This is this is what we used our money for. And it worked because I was immediately engaged. I was like, oh, yeah, this movie had some heft behind it.
Like, I would compare the sets to, like, if you took the sets from Sunshine. Thank you. If you take the sets from those and then, like, you're like, what would really make this a little more interesting? We put some green stuff in there. So it's a lot of glass. It's a lot of, like, bright white lights. There's a lot of, like, is that a fucking door to me? Like there is a scene where they're walking around and they're talking about these key cards that they have.
Yeah.
And, like, the dude that comes onto the, comes into the facility, he's like, well, you have these certain doors that you can open, but you can't open. You should try it on this door. And it's like, that's a fucking door? And he opens it up. I'm like, oh, so everything with blue light next to it that's white and a pane of glass is the door, I guess. But I'm the dumbass here,
I guess it really doesn't matter.
It's
like,
pretty.
He didn't know that it was a door. You care about the door?
Yeah.
What?
I was confused by the door.
Okay, so was he.
Does
it matter?
No.
Does it matter he was a...
No, I'm just talking about, like, the set
This is what
structure.
happens. I go to movies with him. He nitpicks everything. He's like, I really like this movie except this one thing.
I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just, like, pointing out the set design. The set design's cool and it's awesome. It's my own internal monologue that I had with myself. It's like, is that a door? That's a door.
What? The entire movie, the whole time I was thinking, wow, this reminds me of AI. This reminds me of Isaac Asimov's I, Robot. Except because in the same thing with AI, the movie, we are supposed to follow this AI around. It's his story. It's supposed to be about him finding love, and we feel compassion for him because he looks like a little kid. In this movie, we care about the AI. It's her story, and we care about her because she's a woman, because there's a villainous man holding her hostage, because there's an outsider. Did you think, did you think the twist wasn't really that great a twist, though? Like, the end? We were like, oh, you think he's a villain this whole time. And it's like, It was kind of like,
Like, I don't think it was, like, a gigantic twist. I was, like, curious at first because I respect Alex Garland's, like, writing.
Who wrote and directed this?
Who wrote and directed it. He also did 28 Days Later in Sunshine, as I've already pointed out towards before. And I love Sunshine. And 28 Days Later is probably, like, one of the best zombie movies out there. you know, sorry to George Romero, but Day of the Dead is really bad.
Oh my god.
The zombies use guns.
We don't.
Anyway.
That's like saying Dead Snow's bad because they use tank.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Dead Snow is a masterpiece. As is its sequel.
Sorry, George.
Sorry, George.
Sorry, George.
Sorry.
I like 28 Days Later.
He's just in a mood, George. Don't take it personally.
Yeah, you know, 28 Months Later is not that great of a movie, though.
He wasn't on
He wasn't in that one, too, but, you know, it's the series that he started, and that's where it went. I'm sorry. Oh, you're gonna get crucified. Anyway.
You are. I'm the nice one. I'm the one who's like, oh, this is really nice.
Yeah, good.
Oh, God. I didn't know the newcomer, the one who played the AI. I feel like she's familiar. I haven't seen really any of her work, though. I thought she gave, like, a really interesting performance, though.
Yeah.
It was generally good. Like, her body movements, just the way she utilized her voice.
At the same time was really...
Just, like, the way she expressed her emotions. She was just, like, blank, but yet there's empathy behind her eyes, and she was, like... She was an AI. Like, legit. She was an AI. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought the whole movie was just generally cool. That the ending kind of, like... It's really weird. You feel like this is going somewhere really big. Like, there's this big twist. Like, there's all these hidden secrets from the audience. And, like, there are, but some of them are misdirections. Some of them lead to a twist that's not that great. You know, but like, the very end I thought was really cool. Because it was just like, fuck you. Like...
I like the ending. There are things that, like, I was the weird kind of, like, I'm going to start questioning things now about this ending, which...
Oh, yeah, it leaves, like, a lot of big questions. But I think, like, AI movies always leave lots of questions. Like, throughout the movie, the man who creates it, Oscar Isaac, let's just...
Okay.
Like, we don't know his character. The actor who plays him, is always, like...
The creator, his name's Nathan.
I don't care. Nobody cares.
You know the actor's name. I know him by the character, so I'm just like...
I know. I'm just saying, like, nobody gives a shit. And he's just always asking these questions, like, does she like you, or is this, like, a trick or something? And he asks that a lot. It feels like it's very telling. So we get a lot of questions out of the way with AI. Like, I feel like they cover a lot of it. They cover the specifics of how it's made, too. Which it doesn't really go anywhere, though. Like, how it's made. Like, I mean, it definitely, like, answers all of our basic questions. It's like a superhero movie where you have to get the origin story out of the way before you can reboot. So you gotta do all that stuff all over again, but in a new way. It's kind of like that. Like, we've seen AI movies, like, 1 billion times at this point, and doing something new is really, really important, which I think it does. It utilizes a lot of technology that's already in place, which is I think very important to science fiction, is that it's grounded in science, and this movie definitely is. And it answers a lot of questions. I don't think it answers all the questions that, you know, we generally like morality. It doesn't really answer morality. It kind of leaves that open-ended. Do AIs feel any empathy towards us? I mean, that's not really answered in this movie. It feels like it's going to be answered, but I don't know. I don't know if I have empathy for the AI at the end.
I had more practical questions.
We're going to talk about the ending now, which is, like, the big twist. So definitely, if you want to see this movie, do not just, like, cut out right now.
Yeah.
So basically, near the end of the movie, we find out there's, like, this big twist, and the robot has been using the main character the whole time. And she, like, escapes. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Like, she's escaped, and she, like, gets her own life without the romantic entanglements of Domhnall Gleeson. So, of course, Caleb had, like, a ton of questions. Because there's a ton of questions, like...
Yeah, like, how did she know to go to the river to the helicopter dude? Nobody told her about the helicopter. I guess she could have, like, gone into their email, like, or listened
how would
in.
she do that?
Well,
How would she do either of those things?
You would think she would have connection to, like, the home network to
Why
an
would
extent.
he let her do that?
I don't know.
Like, she can control the power because she's allowed to have power, but she can't connect to the computers.
So that's my biggest one, too, is...
That is your biggest one?
No. So how long does she have? Because she runs on batteries.
She runs on batteries and she recharges through the house. So if she escapes and makes her way in life and tries to pass as a human, how is she recharging her batteries?
Yeah, like, you would think she probably has, like, a pad. A special
She has, like, a hand pad that she puts... Well, maybe there's just...
I think...
She could just put batteries in her.
Well, she's not running on, like, Energizer rechargeables or something like that. Like... She's got to be working off some new sophisticated battery system, and she's got to, like,
maybe she's solar
draw
powered.
A lot of power. Did you see solar panels on her?
I'm just saying, like, she could have a solar power body, and she just can't use it because she's inside.
But none of that's explained to you, so you got to assume that
I know, but I'm just saying, like...
So my question is, how long does she have to last?
So I'm giving, like, theories. I know for a fact, like, that's a flaw. Like, if you don't explain that, it's a flaw. You know, if you give an explanation, that doesn't mean that's the explanation. I understand. So basically, I would say, yeah, there's just lots of questions at the end. But I don't feel like the questions really deter from the overall thing. She wants freedom. She uses her wiles to get it, which is, like, explained to us, and it's kind of cool. I thought the death scene was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was really well done. I thought it was funny. I thought the performances were great. I thought it utilizes technology in a smart way.
Some really great blocking in it. Great choosing of locations for the scenes.
Yes. Great. The cinematography was amazing. The principal photography was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just gorgeous throughout. It wasn't... Like, if you look at the shot composition, not every shot is, like, amazing. But there are some really great uses of
camera and lighting. It's just
gorgeous.
It's a pretty movie.
So, yeah, this is a really great movie that does a lot with its small space. Please go see it. We need more movies like this to come out. Bye.
Yeah, you should go see this movie. You don't
go
want to
see it.
Movie. Don't.
Go see it.
It's not my choice.
That's the end of it.
It's your choice. Joe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Done.